Hello, it's Pixel Weekly, back with another video. This time, I'll be reviewing the Logitech M510 Advanced Mouse and the Logitech K360 wireless keyboard. Together, this mouse and keyboard cost only around $42, with the mouse costing $20 and the keyboard costing $22. The keyboard has gone down in price now since I've bought it. At the time of this recording, it cost only $17. Despite Logitech's website saying that the M510 Advanced mouse is literally twice as much, on Amazon and at most Best Buys, the mouse costs only around $20. Speaking of the mouse, I've said this before and it still remains true. I think this mouse is just as useful, comfortable, and versatile as the MX series mice. It has a really nice weight and can work on almost any surface. It also has a forward and backwards buttons that, as far as I know, cannot be programmed to perform other functions. And while it doesn't have the little scroll wheel the other MX series mice do, I honestly don't think it's worth the extra $50 to get the scroll wheel. Of course, the MX series mice do have other features that makes them useful, but for the price you're getting this mouse for, I think this is more than worth it. Of course, there are cheaper options like the Logitech M325 mouse that can be found anywhere from $10 to $15, but, at least for my hands, it is way too small and gets extremely uncomfortable to use after just a few minutes. It also doesn't have the forward and back buttons the M510 Advanced mouse does. It still has the same build quality the M510 does, and it's extremely portable. That's something to keep in mind if you travel a lot. Now let's move over to the Logitech K360 wireless keyboard. At only $22, I can't say I was expecting much out of it. Usually wireless keyboards are twice as much as this, so I didn't want to get my hopes up expecting an amazing keyboard. I was pleasantly surprised, however. First things first, both this keyboard and the mouses listed before have the Logitech unifying receiver, which allows 2 or more Logitech devices to be connected to one receiver. I connect my keyboard to my mouse receiver, and I haven't had any connection problems with either devices so far. The build quality on the K360 is surprisingly good. There's basically no flex in the keyboard when typing, even when the legs are folded out. It takes some force to get much flex out of this keyboard. The front face of the keyboard is covered in glossy plastic that is a complete fingerprint magnet. Some of the keys, like the backspace key, is rounded on the top, which I've found makes it easier to find when typing. Speaking of the keys, let's get into that. I saw a lot of people complaining that the keys were too small and too far apart, and while I definitely see where they're coming from, it hasn't bothered my typing too much. The keys are solid and feel pretty good quality. There's a pretty decent amount of travel, and the keys don't feel nearly as mushy as I expected. While it's no mechanical keyboard, I definitely think it's an upgrade from my normal laptop keyboard. At the top of the keyboard there are some MIDI controls that I found work well. I usually only use them to turn up or turn down the volume on a computer, but the function keys also have other functions highlighted in orange on them. I guess Logitech was proud of that feature because they highlighted the ability to launch a calculator from the F12 key on the Amazon page. Another thing I heard people complaining about on Amazon was the size of the keyboard. Even though it's advertised as a compact keyboard, people still think it's too small. Personally, I haven't had much problem with it. It's definitely bigger than my laptop keyboard, so I'm happy with it. As you can see here, it takes up just about the same footprint as my laptop width-wise, but the keys are just spread out farther than the keys on my laptop are, and I like that. One thing to note about this keyboard is that it does have a caps lock light, but it's just in a weird location, on the top right of the keyboard near the on-off switch instead of on the caps lock key itself. As far as I can tell, there's no num-lock light. Overall, I think this combo of mouse and keyboard is a great deal. The keyboard is comfortable, useful, and reliable. The mouse is versatile, comfortable, and solid. And both of them can be found for a great price. I'll leave a link below if you want to check them out. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any comments or questions, leave them down below. Make sure to subscribe and stay tuned for more Pixel Weekly.